Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jackie and this is Jackie's Beat. So today's video is going to be a review with swatches and some first impressions on the new Eye-Conic palette by Marc Beauty. Just a quick disclaimer before I get this video started, I did receive this product complimentary from Influencer and they gave it to me for testing purposes in exchange for a review on Sephora's website. So I did already leave my review on Sephora.com, but I thought it would be fun to do a video review with some swatches and my first impressions for you guys so that you can get a full rundown of what I think of the product. I would never review a product and give you false information or recommend a product that I didn't believe in. So I am going to be 100% real with you guys. I'm going to be totally honest about my feelings on the palette. I hope that you enjoy this video and I hope that you can find it helpful. If you do like this video, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to give me a thumbs up at the end. And I'd love to hear all your feedback in the comments section down below. Let's begin. Okay, so before I get into the actual shadows and the formula and everything like that, I want to go over some logistics about the product first. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is the price. This palette retails for $49 and you can get it at Sephora or marcjacobsbeauty.com. This is what the palette looks like. For $49 you get 7 different shades and each shade is 0.03 ounces each. Now $49 does not sound super expensive for a eyeshadow palette, but it is a little bit pricey when you're only getting 7 shadows. So I took out some other popular eyeshadow palettes to compare it to that are in a similar price point just to give you guys an idea. For example, all of the Urban Decay Naked palettes retail for $54, so they're a touch more expensive, but as you can see, you get like double the amount of shadows. You're getting 12 shadows in a Naked palette, and each one of the shadows in the Naked palette is 0.05 ounces, so you're getting bigger shadow pans, and you're also getting almost double the amount of shadows in the Naked palette for only $5 more. By Too Faced, this is the chocolate bar palette. So they retail for the exact same price, and this palette has 16 shades, so more than double the number in the Marc Jacobs palette. And this one, the smaller pans, right, like this row down here, are 0.03 ounces as well, and then the two bigger colors, the two bigger pans, go 0.07 ounces. So you're definitely getting a lot more bang for your buck if you choose something like this, whereas the Marc Jacobs palette is going to be a little bit on the pricier side. Marc Jacobs is a luxury makeup brand, so it is sort of to be expected that you're going to get something a little bit more expensive. I received this little booklet in the package with the eyeshadow palette, and there are 6 different versions of the palette. Just to quickly go over the different colors that it comes in, you have these blues, which is called Smartorial. There's Provocateur, which is Dusty Plums and Magenta. Scandalust, which is Rusty Warm Browns and Scarlet. Editorial, which is Camo Greens and Reflective Gold. Frivolux, which is Chilled Greige and Violet. Glambition, which is Bare and Bronze. And that's all of them. I got it in the shade Glambition, which is the Bare and Bronze, so it's pretty neutral tones with a little bit of bronzy in there, as you can see, and we are going to do some swatches in a little bit. The next thing I want to talk about is the packaging. So it comes in this little black box, and when you open up the box, it has this nice little sleek black packaging. It's long and skinny, and when you open it up, it does have a mirror inside, and you have your 7 eyeshadow colors. So the back of the palette actually has a little code with all of the different shades on it and what they're called. It's not big and bulky like a lot of other palettes, like the chocolate bar palette gets a little bit bulky, so if you're traveling it takes up a lot of space in your makeup kit, or if you're just like on the go running to work or something and you want to keep an eyeshadow palette with you, this would be a great size for that. So the packaging is really nice, it's lightweight, it's pretty sleek, so you could easily keep this in your purse and bring it with you on the go. Especially if you have it in this color scheme, because they are kind of neutrals, this is a good everyday kind of palette. Alright, now that we went over a little bit of the logistics of the palette, I want to talk about the actual colors and the formula of the shadows. This palette is a little bit on the pricey side, so unless it's really good quality, it might not necessarily be worth the $50 to purchase. So let's start swatching and kind of see what it's all about. There are 4 different finishes of eyeshadows in this palette. There's velvets, which are the matte shades. There's satin, which are matte with a little pearlescent hint. There's silk, which are pearlescent, and there's the lame finish, which is metallic. So I'm going to start at the very beginning of the palette and just kind of go down the line. I'm going to swatch each one of these on my arm. I know it's going to be hard to see on camera, so I'll just show all the swatches at the end, but I will tell you about what I think of the formula and how the colors feel as I swatch them out on my arm. So we're going to start down at the lighter end of the palette with this color called She Was. This color is a really pretty pearlescent kind of color. It would be a good color to use as an inner corner highlight or a brow bone highlight. This pearlescent finish feels super creamy when I rub my finger into it for the swatch, and the swatch is actually coming out very pigmented. It's like a nice pearly white kind of a color. So the next color in the palette is called Infamous. This is a really nice peachy kind of matte color. It's very, very neutral. This would make for a good start to a transition shade, so you could kind of use this all over the lid to blend out the rest of your shadows. Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful transition shade. Next color in the palette is called Known For. It's this color right here, this beautiful bronzy metallic color. Wow, so pigmented, look at that. One little finger swipe and it's like super, super pigmented. It's really, really shiny. It's very, very metallic looking, and it's super bronzy. I know it looks a little bit yellowy in the camera, but it's really a bronzy, beautiful, beautiful metallic color. The next color in the palette is this one right here. It's called Seeking. This is a really pretty matte. This is sort of like a taupey brown kind of a color. That would be a good color to use in your crease if you're looking for something a little bit more subtle and more natural, not super smoky and not really dark and dramatic. That would be a really good color to just start kind of deepening up the crease once you've already used this one as your transition shade. This next color I'm super excited about. It is called The Most. It's this color right here. Pretty shimmery, light pink kind of a color. It has the same kind of finish as the metallic bronze. Really, really light, soft baby pink color. It is so beautiful. That would be a really nice color to use kind of on the center of your lid if you're just doing a softer, more natural look. Next up is the color Over the Top. That's this color right here. This is a really pretty matte chocolatey brown. So this is going to be a great color if you're trying to do something a little bit more smoky, a little bit more dramatic. You can really get into the crease with that color. Really, really pretty. Again, it's got that same sort of matte formula. It feels super creamy when you touch it, and it swipes on really nice and pigmented. Last up in the palette is this black color over here. It is called Glamour. It's like a matte black with glitter in it, but it's a very, very subtle golden toned glitter. You could use this on your lower lash line. You could use it in your outer corners to make it look really, really dark and smoky and dramatic, or you could skip the black if you wanted to do a more neutral look with it. Okay guys, so here are the swatches from top to bottom. We have Glamour, Over the Top, The Most, Seeking, Known For, Infamous, and She Was. Okay, so overall my first impressions, I would say that the formula on these shadows is incredible. I absolutely love the way that they feel. The shimmery colors feel super creamy, and then the mattes feel very, very silky. They almost remind me of the same formula as the Marc Jacobs bronzer and the blushes. All of their powder products have a really, really silky feel to them, and you definitely get that from the mattes in this palette. Overall, I would say that the pigmentation in this palette is insane. I mean, these colors are swiping onto my arm so pigmented, which is really nice. A lot of times you get neutral tone colors that look really pretty in the pan, and then once you blend them out or once you swatch them on your arm, there's just like hardly any pigment and they look super light, and there's really not a whole lot you can do. But in this palette, they do have really nice pigment. A lot of times with shimmery or glittery colors, you need to either soak your brush with Fix Plus or use your fingers to apply them, and they're not really pigmented enough, so you get a ton of fallout. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen with the shimmers in this palette, and you get a lot of good color payoff from this palette. So even though it is pricey, the formula is amazing and the pigment in these colors is insane. So that's one thing that I absolutely love about these shadows. This particular color scheme, Glambition, I would say is definitely worth the money because you have a lot of neutral colors here, so you can create a ton of everyday looks with this, but it also has some of these darker colors and this beautiful bronze shimmer that you can create a really dramatic look. You can do a dark smoky eye with it. You could definitely do an everyday look. Again, the packaging for this would be great to just throw in your purse and bring with you to the office, or take it with you on the go if you need a palette to keep on hand at all times. So it definitely is a little bit on the pricey side, but again, I think that the shadows in here are absolutely beautiful. The colors are great, they're very versatile. The pigment and the formula in this palette is incredible, so I definitely think that something like this would be worth it. Maybe not necessarily the other color schemes that it comes in. Okay, so my final thoughts on this palette. Is it worth the $50? In my opinion, if you're somebody who is a makeup enthusiast or loves makeup or collects makeup the way that I do, I would purchase this palette because it really is an amazing formula and the colors are super pigmented and they seem very easily blendable. I can't wait to put together some looks with these, and if you guys want to see a tutorial using this palette, please let me know in the comments down below and I'd be happy to make one. If you're somebody who's a little bit more on a budget, I think you definitely can find cheaper alternatives of similar color schemes. However, you're not going to get as good quality with the shadows because, like I said before, these have a great color payoff. They are very blendable and they're very pigmented. Okay, you guys, that concludes today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found this review helpful. I hope that you guys liked the swatches, and I hope it gave you some insight if you were thinking about purchasing this palette, and hopefully you found something in here helpful. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you go.